We all need to invest in a player at the end of our bench that could possibly explode on us. And Jameson Williams is a guy that I keep talking about every week. Before, he was a trendy stash on IR. Then he came off IR. Now we got a game under our belt. Last week, he played 8 snaps, ran 2 routes, got targeted 1 time, and received 22 air yards. Those 22 air yards equated to 9.6 share of the team's passing air yards. So that's almost 10% of the team's air yards on 1 target. And he was 3rd among all wide receivers on the Detroit Lions in air yards last week. The thing here is Dan Campbell said that he expects Jameson Williams to get more opportunities this week and going forward. He stayed there just trying to get him acclimated like they did with Jerry Jacobs earlier in the season. So expect things to slowly ramp up. Expect him to get a little bit more opportunities this week. Maybe some more snaps, maybe a couple more targets. The Lions are in the hunt for the playoffs. They have a favorable schedule going forward. They have the Vikings this week at home. 51.5 over-under. The Vikings have allowed 2nd most fantasy points to wide receivers, 2nd most yardage on deep ball attempts. So there's going to be some opportunities here for Williams if he's getting some snaps, if he's getting some targets. How many, we don't know. Is he going to get fully unleashed? Probably not, but he'll probably get a little bit more opportunities for us to observe. Going forward, though, since they're fighting for a playoff spot, and he's mentioned that they're just acclimating him, allowing him to get his feet wet a little bit, don't be surprised he starts seeing more snaps, more touches, more opportunities later in the season. Obviously, for fantasy, Jameson Williams is more of a bet for 2023, but if you need that gamble on that last spot on your roster, he is the guy to do it with. If you need that last spot on your roster to be an upside guy, has to be Jameson Williams because it's nothing but upside. There's no floor here, but the upside's grand, and if it hits, could be a league winner, and we know what we're expecting anyways, and the floor is bottomless, and if it does go that way, it's really not going to affect you that much because you've been expecting it. And he's just a speculative asset at the end of your bench. And the upside's so grand here that it could go nuclear on you. So it's hard not to have a guy like this on the back of your bench, especially when it comes late in the season. What becomes juicy here is with him getting these deep targets, or with the potential of him getting these deep targets, this volume later down the road. If you play a lot of DFS, if you like to max entry your DFS tournaments, this could be a guy you can throw in some lineups because he's going to be cheap. He's going to give you that upside with those deep targets, and that target share is going to jump a little bit, but we don't know how much. But just from that perspective, when you're doing a bunch of lineups and you're looking for different contrarian options, he's a cheap guy to put in there if we're seeing this trend increase going forward, because already just that 1 target, deep ball going his way, he's going to be used on the deep ball because he's got that 4.2, 4.3 speed. He projects that way. He did that at Alabama. He can also get you yards after the catch. Look for him to get those deep balls and get them consistently. And I love him a lot for 2023. Already from what we've seen from this very, very, very small 8-snap sample, is a wide receiver we need to invest in next year because those deep balls matter. We're going to see more this year, and we've seen it at Alabama. We know the speed, we know the athleticism, we know the draft capital. Good things should come forward, and it should be at a very good price tag for fantasy for 2023. Let me know your comments below on Jameson Williams. Some of you guys are in the Detroit area, so you may have even more news about him going forward. Love to hear about it, but make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. It's only going to help you with waiver wire pickups, trades, lineups, dynasty, rookie drafts, the NFL draft, and everything else going forward. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.